Another McCrone Group webinar. My name is Charles Zona, and today our presenters are Jim Bristol of McCrone Microscopes Accessories and Adam Babarek of Midwest Information Systems, the maker of PAXit imaging software. Jim and Adam are going to talk to us today about the recent advancements in the 21 CFR 11 extended security module within PAXit imaging software. Before we get started, I would like to tell you a little bit about Jim and Adam's background and experience. Jim is a technical sales representative for McCrone Microscopes and Accessories with more than 30 years of experience in optical instrumentation and software sales. Jim has successfully sold and supported complex imaging systems such as laser scanning and spinning disc confocal microscopes, integrated systems for cell stereology and neuron tracing, as well as scanning electron microscopes and thermal microscope systems. Adam is a software engineer and product manager for Midwest Information Systems, the maker of PAXit, with more than 10 years of experience in imaging software development. Adam has been the main force behind MIS's development of this 21 CFR Part 11 software package. Jim and Adam will field questions from the audience immediately following today's presentation. And this webinar is being recorded and will be available on the McCrone Group website under the Webinars tab. And now I will hand the program off to Jim and Adam.
Perhaps no lab instrument incorporates the use of electronic records as much as the routine microscope with digital camera. For many years, digital images have been the primary vehicle used to present scientific findings from under the objective lens. It naturally follows that any FDA-regulated procedure requiring a microscope will be subject to Part 11 compliance to secure its corresponding digital images, by which the FDA considers electronic records and signatures to be trustworthy and reliable. It requires labs to implement controls such as audit trails, encrypted digital signatures, and restricted file access to secure any electronic record produced in FDA-regulated procedures. Any systems put in place to this end are subject to audits and validation. Ironically, there is a dearth of digital camera and software solutions that provide an easy path toward compliance. A company using such products must often rely upon its IT personnel or outside contractors to develop custom software and storage techniques to meet the stringent demands of 21 CFR Part 11. Such custom projects are a drain on time and resources, with an end result that often limits the camera or software's full capabilities for the sake of compliance. Furthermore, with the increasing stringent enforcement of Part 11 that we have seen over the past couple of years, you're not only risking time and money, but unfavorable audits as well. Today, in this short webinar, we will present to you PAXit Extended Security, an imaging and software package that enables customers to meet the challenges of 21 CFR Part 11 compliance with greater ease and flexibility. While our emphasis will be on imaging and microscopy for FDA-related procedures, please keep in mind that this package can apply to other various imaging applications outside of microscopy. I will now hand the mic over to Adam, who will take us through a brief review of PAXit Extended Security and its abilities to help your lab comply with 21 CFR Part 11.
Thanks, Jim. To start, I will briefly discuss the timeline of 21 CFR Part 11 in relation to PAXit software development. MIS was founded as a software development firm in the Chicagoland area in 1988. When Part 11 was released in 1999, MIS already had over 10 years' experience in the development of its PAXit image database and analysis software. Around 2001, we released the Extended Security module for 21 CFR Part 11 compliance. So what you will see here is the result of 15 years' experience helping customers reach compliance in digital imaging. Over that 15 years, we have observed varying degrees of enforcement of 21 CFR Part 11. However, in the past 2 years alone, there has been a major increase in the FDA's demand for compliance. The push comes largely in the wake of abuses and poor quality practices affecting products entering the U.S. from outside markets. As a result, production facilities in Europe and other countries are being audited like never before, some over 20 times a year. For them, this is not an option. They must comply or risk shutdown. The same is becoming true in America as the FDA increases stringency. Luckily, PAXit software develops as fast as the expectations of the markets it serves. As we move through the quick demonstration, you will see the specific tools PAXit employs to secure your digital images while maintaining enough flexibility to perform all other standard imaging tasks in your workflow. So let's get started. PAXit Extended Security requires the assignment of user accounts. Users are prompted for login credentials anytime the software is launched. Failing to enter the correct information 3 times locks that account. PAXit informs users of how many attempts they have before this happens. As this account is on its 3rd failed attempt, PAXit shuts down, informing the user that the account is now locked and here that only an administrator can unlock it. User accounts are created and managed within PAXit. Here I'm going to log in as an administrator. Once I'm in the software, I'll navigate to our Setup Database area, where Edit User Password List displays a simple dialog where accounts are added, modified, or unlocked. Selecting this present login brings up its list of assigned permissions. These permissions pertain to PAXit features any user may have access to. Here, I've granted permission to any action except annotating images. To test this, I will exit out of user accounts and open a PAXit image. Here, as expected, my attempt to make an annotation line is blocked. The feature is working. By assigning user accounts in this fashion, PAXit meets the Part 11 requirements for user authentication, as well as lockout upon many failed logins. In addition, the permissions ensure that users only access those actions appropriate to their role in the laboratory. Now, features such as user logins, as well as all other 21 CFR Part 11 functions, are possible due to PAXit's unique design as an image database archive. Rather than depend solely on Windows directories, PAXit stores digital files with customizable, searchable data fields that can also be included with reports, printouts, and more. Files are accessed directly in the application through a Windows Explorer-type folder tree, making the assembly and navigation of your collection familiar and accessible. Open folders display image thumbnails for easy identification, and once open, the image's database information appears alongside it. As we will see shortly, the database is also the resource utilized for audit trail logs and digital signatures. We'll check out digital signatures first. As specified by Part 11, digital signatures are to be as trustworthy and reliable as handwritten signatures and must not be easy to repudiate. In PAXit, files are locked at the point of digital signature, and the user's name is permanently associated with it in addition to the date, time, status, and reason for the signature. Users are reminded of this by a simple prompt anytime they choose to sign an image. PAXit then prompts for username and password. This is another key Part 11 requirement. For additional security, PAXit ensures that only the user who is logged in can sign images. The wrong credentials or different user's credentials are rejected. Upon successful authentication, the user is prompted to enter a signature value and reason, another Part 11 requirement. The signature is applied upon selecting OK. Any signature can be verified by right-clicking on the thumbnail in the folder and selecting the Check Signature option from the drop-down. Here we see that all information is intact, permanently associated with the image, and the file is locked. Though the image may be open for review, no further manipulations can be made. Finally, in regards to Part 11 compliance, PAXit stores detailed audit trail logs that trace the creation, modification, and deletion of files back to the users who perform those actions. These reports are easily accessed from the Other Modules tab and show data for things as varied as document activity, the entry and modification of a file-specific database information, user login data, and more. Looking at the document activity report will provide an overview of how these actions are logged. Simply select the report from the drop-down menu, specify the date range of interest, as well as any user or users whose data you want to report. If no user is selected, all user actions will be shown. You can also specify what actions were taken with the documents. By selecting Generate Report, a spreadsheet window appears. All reported information meets Part 11 standards, including user, action taken, date and time of the action, as well as the specific cabinet and folder it is located in. To help users better identify a specific file, a unique image key is given and can be easily searched by entering it into a simple navigation bar on the PAXit Home tab. This enables users to get directly to the file in question for easier identification and correlation. All PAXit audit trails perform in the same fashion, and from these records, a user is able to prove accountability to anyone inquiring along the lines of 21 CFR Part 11. As we can see, PAXit's contained archival environment enables labs to satisfy Part 11 requirements by restricting file access and manipulation to the application itself. Perhaps the best part of this, though, is that it does so while still allowing access to its powerful processing, annotating, measurement, and analysis tools. Users no longer have to sacrifice their imaging software's capabilities for the sake of FDA compliance. Any annotation or measurement made in PAXit is stored on a separate layer, never affecting the original integrity of the image. Likewise, report generation, custom calculation, and more is all supported in PAXit. Digital signatures function can apply in different ways to secure reports according to your lab's specific workflow. At long last, scientific imaging applications finally have a program with both the flexibility necessary to complete their imaging tasks and meet Part 11 requirements. In the rest of the world, compliance with 21 CFR Part 11 for FDA-regulated companies is mandatory, should those companies want to do business in the U.S. And that mandatory compliance is now upon us in the U.S. as well. If you're not sure your current lab equipment and procedures are in compliance, we can help. McCrone and PAXit are uniquely positioned to provide both the experience and solutions to help you navigate the technical, optical, imaging, and practical issues you'll need to consider and enact in the days ahead. You'll need a trusted, experienced partner who has the tools to navigate this process, and we'd like to be your partner.
All right, guys. Thanks. That was interesting stuff. For those of you out there listening, if you have any questions for Jim and Adam, go ahead and type them into the questions field, and we'll start going through them with you guys as they start rolling in. We actually have one here from Chris. Chris is asking, other than a conventional style microscope, what other optical systems can PAXit's extended security work with?
That's an excellent question. PAXit Extended Security, it can be utilized with any optical system that can accept the PAXit compliant camera itself, CCD, or generate images or movies that can be uploaded into PAXit Extended Security. Remember, PAXit Extended Security is not limited to just images or movies. It can also accept reports, printouts, and other documents with the same level of security.
All right, Jim. We've got a question here from somebody at a lab. Can the software integrate with Active Directory for accounting information?
Yes, it can. User accounts that are created in PAXit, as we saw in the demonstration, as long as you type the domain name of that user before the username in Active Directory, it will sync up with your Windows account. So password policy, change dates, all of these things can be streamlined together. That was not always a feature, nor is it necessarily required. You can create software level accounts to log in at the database level. However, we developed it because most customers really prefer and benefit from that type of streamlined integration.
Okay, great. Another question from Chris. Do you offer IQ services, installation, training, things of that nature?
Yes, Chuck, we do. MIS provides a full IQ service package with documentation for the extended security installations. McCrone also offers a full IQ service package for the microscopes that are used with the extended security installations. Services are performed on site, and all documentation is provided with all the test results. Users can also order system training time, either on site or remote, for introductions to the features and use of the software and hardware.
Okay, great. See if there's any other questions rolling in here. If you guys would like to add anything to the presentation at this point as well, other features you might want to talk about, or?
Yeah, in particular, many applications go through, have different needs. PAXit has always been modular. In fact, this extended security software is, at its core, a module that integrates with PAXit as it's been developed for 25 plus years. Being modular, your lab has some options. Maybe you don't need full image analysis. Perhaps you just need a way to archive the images and simple annotations, like some of what we saw today. Whatever level you're at, we have a solution for you at competitive pricing. And again, just to reiterate, you're not limited. Many clients that we've dealt with, especially internationally, have such various applications, and each one of them, even among labs doing the same exact thing, perhaps want to do it in a different way. And not only have we designed it as such already, but we continue to update the software in order to continue to meet those types of needs. So it really is a robust solution, much more than just a capture and make sure it's secure type of 1-2.
Okay. Looks like we got a question here from Jeff. Can extended security be retrofitted with existing microscopes and cameras?
That's for you, Adam. Go ahead.
Thanks, Jim. To review that, existing microscopes, we often retrofit our PAXcam to existing microscope equipment. It's very common, and we also with outside cameras, PAXit has always worked with third-party cameras. However, when you're considering something like a Twain camera, it's not so much PAXit as much as it is certain considerations that if it is a third-party camera, you as the user are responsible for making sure that the only application you can access it in is PAXit. If you have another application on that system that can open that camera, it means you can potentially capture it to other areas and doctor the image before insertion into PAXit. And that becomes a significant concern for most labs that we deal with. So purchasing our integrated camera is a little easier for everybody, but as long as you guys have the appropriate checks and balances in your lab environment with third-party camera, we're definitely willing to explore the possibilities with you.
If there are any questions in these situations, please get a hold of us. We'll be happy to go over those parameters with you and work with you to get the best possible setup for your application.
Yeah, we have Adam and Jim's contact information up here for that purpose. I know, guys. I think that'll do it for the questions. Actually, thanks again for putting on a great webinar, very informative, and we'll be releasing our 2017 webinar schedule shortly after the New Year. So we hope to see you at another McCrone Group webinar. Thank you.